All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jackalope. We have Andy Anderson and Kevin Harris. Give it up. Last time the three of us were together was going to be at the freestyle event in by the rodeo.
The roundup.
Like 7-8 years ago.
I like the hoedown though.
Yeah,
Hoedown.
sounded good for a second, eh?
Yeah, freestyle hoedown. That's kind of sick.
Yeah, Terry, that's our new name for next year. The Hoedown Freestyle event.
Well, we have the hoedown over here, which is a park series, so it's like
Oh.
yeah, so it's on my mind. We've just had it. Wow, Andy, Kevin. So everyone knows who you are, and everybody
No
knows
one
who
knows
you.
who-
Yeah, they know you. So why don't we start with Kevin and how you got into this and where you started? Because you have an incredible background. One of the few Canadians ever, until you got into the picture, that got sponsored by a U.S. Great company.
Well, Kevin was the first ever Canadian
Yeah.
to be pro for skateboarding. First Canadian to make it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel I'm 62 years old, and I've had the best life, right? Like married.
You're
2 kids.
62?
I'm 82.
Oh
I'm
my
62 when I'm 82. And skateboarding happened for the very first time in Canada in 1975. So I was doing all the other sports. I seen skateboarding, and within 5 minutes, it changed my life, right? And it was pretty amazing to have the career that.
Kevin, I'm just giving you a mic. Sorry, there. Technical difficulty.
Technical.
Closer to the mic.
Okay, and so I started in 1975, and that's
So
what
this is Kevin Harris, just so you know, and this is Andy Anderson. I just don't want you to mix that up. Go ahead, Kevin.
So like super crazy career. Who would ever thought that I would travel the world with like legendary guys like Tony Hawk? I've tried to inspire a lot of skateboarders through the time, and the next guy that changed our friggin' skateboard industry, just like Rodney Mullen or Tony Hawk did, was this guy beside me. And I feel like a proud parent to where we've got to nowadays for sure with skateboarding. But I was fortunate enough to see nearly every single historical moment in skateboarding and watching all these things progress and all the history. And went down to California, started winning all the big contests in Canada. Went down to California in 1982. I was turned pro for GNS at the time. And then Powell Peralta picked me up, Stacy Peralta, and I rode for the best skateboard company in the world, and traveled the world. And this guy right beside me, again, there's been in my lifetime, I think anybody who skated, there's been a couple people that have changed our industry for the good forever, and that's been Tony Hawk, Rodney Mullen, and this guy.
But Kevin Harris is the one. He's the first ever pro from Canada, and he's got a very specific type of freestyle. Most people when they think of freestyle, they think of Caspers, pogos, rail stands. Like Kevin did none of that. And you're like, what's left? And be like, exactly. Like that's what Kevin did. What's left? That flow freestyle, 1 foot pivots, gliding, like just making it look so graceful with the tightest trucks. He looks like he's got loose trucks. Like he's just so masterful. I grew up watching you and buying your boards, and like that's how I got into freestyle.
And
You guys, when you had that event, you had Rodney Mullen there. Like,
Yeah.
I was sick as one of the judges.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Rodney showed up.
I didn't know who you were at that time. Kevin said, "Jay, you got to come here. You got to see this. He's going to be amazing." I said, "Okay, I got to go and see him." And you were amazing. And you had people from Japan. Those two little like 8 and 9-year-old kids from Japan. You had people from so many countries come to that freestyle contest that you started, and it was amazing. And what you did, and like it's just awesome.
Yeah, Kevin started the world's most renowned and biggest freestyle world championship type series. So like freestyle didn't have that for a long time, and there's kind of like a 20-year gap in the freestyle participation. Everybody who freestyles is kind of like 50 plus or 30 below. There's like,
how many of you have seen Crazy Wisdom, Andy's new video?
Yeah, that video is
Okay.
unbelievable.
Okay, so I just got to tell you a little bit from my history. Is 1991 comes along, skateboarding basically has died. It is the slowest it's ever been in skateboarding history. Freestyle at that point had basically gone away because there was no more pro freestyle contests. Rodney Mullen, what did he do? He took that and took it into street, right? And he took all those freestyle tricks. So any street skater here can owe all those things to Rodney Mullen. 65% of all tricks were invented by Rodney Mullen.
straight
So-
up.
I'll
ollie.
never forget this time. I'm
kickflip.
driving back from San Diego to LA, Stacy Peralta, and I'm with them going back. And freestyle, in my mind, is basically dead. The pro circuit is gone, but street skating is making huge impact inside the industry of skateboarding. My comments to Stacy, and we both agreed in 1991, I hope one day that street and freestyle merge together. And tell me what that's ever happened in our history 30 years later, or whatever it's been, because of this guy sitting right beside me. My dream has finally come true.
Andy Anderson, legend.
And like when I was doing demos with Kevin forever, doing all the contests, like he would tell me that. Like he helped like push that into reality. Like me and Stacy say that freestyle and streets the next big thing. Me and Stacy say that freestyle and streets the next big thing. Like that was always cooking in the back of my head. And I just appreciate all those. We used to do demos all over, and we'd just be in the road for hours, or in the car on the road. Not in the road, but on
This
the
is
road.
before he was Andy Anderson, the big name. So I miss those days. Now he lives in Venice, travels all over the world, and he forgets all about Kevin back home in Vancouver. You know, we don't do these school demos anymore together, and all these things that I totally miss about doing shows with Andy. So you're coming back one day. We're gonna do a school demo, right? We're doing a demo here next. It's kind of like old times.
Yeah, that's what's up. We're doing.
You haven't aged a day, Kevin.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
84.
Skateboarding.
So, Kevin, you've been a big influence in Andy's life and a lot of people, and you still have all those ties. You know, I remember we were doing something and we needed something. You phoned Tony up. Tony took care of it. Stacy came up and did the judging for you. Rodney Mullen, who doesn't really do that many things, he's under the radar. You got him to come up there. And what you've done for freestyle globally has been incredible, right? And it was funny. You said 20 years. So you talked me into enter the legend category, which I did, and I thought that was cool that Rodney Mullen's the judge. That's my claim to fame. But anyway,
So sick.
but Monty was the MC at your event, and he partnered with you. When we had the skateboard championships here in 1977,
yeah.
he was the MC there, and I'm going, you look really kind of familiar. Are you the same Monty? And he goes, yeah. I said, wow, you look old now. No,
No, but it's for real. Monty's
it's the real Monty.
like Monty. If you guys don't know, which you most likely do not know, is Monty Little made all the original Canadian skate parks. So like all the oldest skate parks in Canada, like the 5 oldest ones, are all made by Monty Little. Like these crazy snake runs and stuff.
Oh, the out in BC.
Out in BC, like Whistler.
It's a sketchy one now.
Oh man, if you've ever been to Whistler, you've seen his work. But he's the one who would host and put on the event that Kevin was hosting and putting on. So that's just like so sick to be connected. He also did Expo 86. If you want like something to research later, go on YouTube and type in radical moves.
1986 Expo contest.
Yeah, there's like an hour and a half of like freestyle vert street. It's like Jackalope but 86. If you want some reference.
And we appreciate that reference material, Andy. You're just so informed there. Awesome.
I want to say one more thing about the Crazy Wisdom video is a lot of those tricks you guys are seeing for the first time. The base of those tricks, a lot of those tricks that Eddie does is from freestyle. A lot of the stuff you've seen, if he didn't have that freestyle background, those tricks would not be able to get done, or the best street skater in the world would not think of the same way he looks at it because he has the freestyle background.
What I think is amazing about that, if it wasn't you, I don't know if we would be where we are today, but they all respect you and they talk about you, right? So you have brought a whole different level to it, which is, I think, amazing, right? It's an evolution that we're seeing as skateboarding is growing and growing around the world. Like, it's not just here.
Yeah, I think what I did is more different than it is difficult. Like if you just go watch freestyle and learn basic freestyle moves and try to integrate them into anything else, you're going to come to similar conclusions that I came to. And you're going to learn different tricks. Like it's not like it ends here. Hopefully
You
this
really
is
think out of the box, and your creativity, like that last video, that last video not insane, right? Like I had to watch it 3 times. How does he do that? Like, it's not possible.
Thanks.
Is there trick photography here? No, it's you, but it's crazy.
It's AI.
And he's Canadian.
Canada.
Woo!
Yeah.
And what I'm hoping, what a lot of skaters around the world will see when they watch that, and I've heard it already since I got here. Of course, people know I'm connected with Andy, and they talk about that video. And what I hope happens is the vision of skateboarding can be more than just what you're doing. So he's already like worldwide, and Jay, you just touched on it. Worldwide, this guy has changed what skateboarding is, right? So now that cool 18-year-old street skater at the park that just rips around and does all the tricks is up there practicing friggin' walk the dogs and some freestyle stuff. Like 10 years ago, that would have been set aside. So lame. And one thing I got to explain too, when he was going through the levels on what I thought he was going to be the next legendary skateboarder, I'm really part of skateboarding in the business side of it too, and Jay knows this too. We were getting ridiculed when this kid was like 16, 17, going, Kevin, you're wasting your time with this kid.
Yeah.
Right?
Straight up.
What are you doing?
And you didn't budge, dude.
I did not budge. So in my mind, I was just like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, hey, I was there when Rodney Mullen got picked up. And Rodney Mullen was this kid that the industry did not want to touch. They wanted nothing to do with this kid. And guess who else they wanted nothing to do with? Tony Hawk, right? And I seen it in this guy. I go, we're going to get him to this level, and we have proven the industry wrong because everything we set out to do, this guy has friggin' done.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kevin.
Give it up. And Kevin, for those of you who don't know, owns Ultimate Distribution. Great distribution company, some of the top boards and trucks and materials out there. Powell Peralta, of course, you are both associated with him.
And Ultimate was the first Canadian distribution, right?
I believe it was, yes.
So it's like, oh, how do you get boards to Canada? It's like, Kevin, I'll be the one.
I'll take care of it.
You know, like that's
No one's
huge.
doing that? What? Sign me up.
So not only is he the first pro skater, but he's also the first guy to bring skateboards into the country. Like, that. Thank you. Thank
guys
you.
bought them.
Kevin.
I don't know. They just had them.
Straight up.
Give it up for Kevin,
Supporting
another
skate-
Canadian.
At the origin.
So, Andy, do you sit back and sometimes look at what you've achieved just at such a young age and go like, holy cow, like, is it overwhelming? Is it? I
I'm
don't know.
starting to. I had to like not look at anything for a long time, but now that the video's done, I'm starting to open up.
It's funny. Earlier we had several people. We had Mitchy Brusco here, and same thing.
What? Mitchie's here?
Yeah.
Dude, I gotta talk to that guy.
Now it's funny. This was not scripted or anything, but when I said your name, he said the same thing.
Dude.
And Manny Santiago, and you and Manny were in the Olympics, but because of COVID, you didn't even get to skate together or anything.
Dude, I just found out today that me and Manny both started skating in year 2000,
Yeah.
the year of the dragon. So we're both 24 years, and now it's the year of the dragon again.
It's crazy.
So we're both on our like dragon return for the second time.
And he's competing tomorrow, so it'd be pretty cool.
Dude, Manny
So
Santiago.
that's what I love about, even though everybody's competitors or whatever, you're all the sense of camaraderie between skaters at whatever level. It's amazing, right? Like there's no barriers, no boundaries. It's
No.
amazing.
Unless you, unless you make them up for yourself.
Well, yeah. We had the joy and pleasure of having the first Canadian tryout competition at CJ Skate Park, and Andy was there, and he spent a week there, and we just like would watch him every day. It's like, wow. It's like, and all the kids, you inspire so many people. Is that a lot of pressure?
I feel like when I was really young, I was getting taught by Hippie Mike at the
Oh, yeah.
skate park.
Yeah, yeah.
And I saw him in the position of everybody look, so I would try to copy him.
As
And then when I at 14 I started teaching lessons, and then I felt like I had already stepped into that role of like, okay, the kids are looking at me. So it's just escalated, but it's not it didn't happen like nobody's looking at me and then all of a sudden, I took on that role early on.
And it's a lot of pressure, right? Like
Yeah.
it really is, right? It's incredible. And I took a lesson from you. You taught me a little freestyle trick.
Like the other day, dude, this video came out on Instagram that said account posted, and I was pissed the day that we were filming it. And I had like an injury, and then I watched the video, and I'm like, dude, I look like such a dick in this video because like,
We'll edit that in.
I look like such a
Beep.
jerk in this video because I like, cause I'm in a bad mood, and they're like, no, we gotta film it today, and I'm like. Oh, and then I watch it later. I'm like, just delete it, dude. I look so bad. Like, not like I look bad, but my
You
demeanor
never
is
look bad. You never
negative.
look bad.
I just like negative and like, I'm all like, no, it's like this. And I'm like, I can't believe I said that. Like, but anyways, you got to be careful when you're on camera. Like, sometimes they need the shot and you're not ready. You got to say, no, we're not getting the shot. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Because otherwise you have
sometimes
to
not
live
that.
with the footage.
You know, it was I loved watching the Olympics, and it was incredible when you were there, and you had leftover time, and you did your freestyle
Yes.
routine. I know some people didn't like that, but I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, dude. Of course, some people didn't like it. Like, that's why it was there.
That's why you
Um,
did it.
Yeah, if everybody liked it, it wouldn't be necessary for me to do it.
But you're one of the few people that got selected from Canada to compete, right? That must have been an incredible amount of pressure.
That's by far the most pressure. And it was not selected. I had to fight. I had to skate
Yeah.
for that.
You
You don't
worked.
get selected.
No.
There's
win
no
the-
guarantee there's a Canadian in the Olympics.
No.
Like,
I want to throw out too for what you guys seen in the Olympics and right at the end of Andy's run when he did the freestyle up top. About a week later, I heard the stats of the views on what was going on with the skateboarding. Girls division was number 2, and the number 1 watch thing was Andy's freestyle run at the
no
top.
way. No
Yeah,
way.
yeah, it was, yeah.
Where did you get those stats?
I got those from
SBC Media and the Olympics.
It's true stat.
No, it's true.
It's true. It's totally
Definitely
true.
So
Dude,
next,
how do I get that? Like,
so football and soccer was the top one, and then it was you, and then it was the girls. And remember, for the girls, it's the first time we saw 14, 15-year-old girls get medals, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then
It's
your
skating
thing,
so
no
well.
one's ever seen freestyle. It wasn't part of it.
there's no way. Who made that graph that says that?
It's a bunch of crap, Andy. I just made it up.
Yeah, okay.
You were
No.
never in the Olympics, Andy. It was a dream. You were never.
You were never at the Olympics, okay? It was somebody else.
We'll stop there. You were
Done
never
with
there.
photography.
I got a little bit of backstory on that. So Andy and I had planned that out a year and a half before, that we knew that once he finished this run, the cameras were still on him. But his first 2 runs, if you remember, he didn't make it to the end of it that he
Nah.
could do that.
Dude,
And
so
I
stressful.
didn't go with him because of COVID, but I'm at home. My wife and I are watching it. I am panicking because now he's got his 3rd run, and I know he has to make it to that to showcase some freestyle.
Yeah.
And I was pacing up and down. Is he still on? Is he still? I couldn't even watch the friggin' TV. And he pulled it off.
Dude, by the
Style, with style.
dude, the only thing I regret is the
Round of applause. Come on, ready?
The beat.
Yeah, woo!
I was supposed to get the freestyle run in the routine, but the beeper went right as I was approaching the ramp. But if I had 4 wheels on the ramp when it went on, then that would have been like my continued combo. It would have been a combo, after time combo. So I missed out on the after time combo. I didn't plan it well enough. Or maybe they started the clock early, those jerks. Oh man.
So we're gonna do a few Q&As, but before we get to that, anything else that advice that you could give maybe young people that thinking of skateboarding?
Go on YouTube, 1986, Kevin Harris, Oceanside.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Oceanside. That's right.
Kevin Harris,
Legendary.
Oceanside.
Kevin's 102
1986.
right now. Started 1929, was it?
28.
He's-
28.
he skates.
28.
He skates to Hell's Bells.
He does. Don't laugh.
Everything you need to know is in that video.
I just want to say one thing too before we go to the Q&A part of it is I never thought I'd have this career in skateboarding, right? And I've kind of got people around the world that we went down to a Bones Brigade reunion a couple months ago. I couldn't believe it that people traveled from all over the world just to meet and greet us. I was so honored.
Yeah.
And one of the things you see this film crew here today, this is amazing for me and Andy. This is a film crew that's doing a documentary on Andy and I's life through skateboarding and together. But this is Mike Downey from the Tragically Hip, Gord Downey's brother.
Mike, wave to the audience there.
And
Yeah, Mike.
we're honored to have them. They've been filming for months now. And this documentary, and the Tragically Hip documentary will be out this fall, 4-part series. But hats off to Mike and his crew for and doing this. And they're learning about skateboarding really for the first time and understanding the culture and stuff. And they're really falling in love with it.
Okay, so who would like to ask a question? All right, we'll start with you
Yeah.
first. What's your name? Robin. And what's your question? And who's it? Well, who's it to first? To Andy, of course. With a family that's connected to Blue Heron, what's the connection, and is there a spiritual connection?
Oh, the Blue Heron. what's my connection to it? So when I was a kid, I thought I saw a pterodactyl. I was like, pterodactyls are real. Pterodactyls are real. and then I found out it was a blue heron. Or maybe it was a pterodactyl. But they got the
No, Andy, it wasn't.
they got
You're so optimistic, Andy.
like pterodactyls got that weird bone thing back here, and the heron's got the feather thing too. Anyways, and then when I was traveling down the coast, I was traveling from Vancouver to California a lot, and they're everywhere. They own that whole coast. I kept going to new places. I'm like,
They were following you.
dude, I was like, here too? And then you go to a different country. Like I was in Switzerland, and then there's blue herons. I'm like, are they like seagulls? They're just everywhere. Like, and then have you heard their caw or their sound? They sound like a pterodactyl. I swear to God.
They are a pterodactyl.
Dude, I swear to God, they're pterodactyl. But the other thing about them is they're so smooth, like Kevin,
Oh no,
Like
it's blue
Andy.
heron.
like Kevin, dude.
Pterodactyl?
Yeah, dude.
Take that as a compliment.
Yeah, it's just like the way that they fly. Like a lot of birds, when they fly, they look kind of like they're like kind of struggling. Blue herons are just like they know what's up, and then when they chill like a guy in a jean jacket in an alleyway. You know what I mean? When they're hanging out, they're just like on one foot, like
Oh my god.
nobody around. I just love blue herons. Yeah. Exact, dude. Hire this guy.
He's already hired. Yeah,
He's hired.
hire you. Who else would like to ask a question?
Yeah.
I got to repeat it because we're taping this. What is your name first? Cameron, and what's your PIN number on your credit card? Just kidding. Cameron, what's your question? I already have that. What? So the question was, before the shape of this board, did you start with a different size and gradually work your way up, or what's the history?
So I was riding huge boards. So when I was like 15, I would ride like 9.5 wide, 17-inch wheelbase, like big stuff. Yeah, well, no, back then I wasn't doing 360 flips so much. So that's really what shrunk it down, was the pursuit of flip tricks. But when I was in flow freestyle, like what Kevin does, works really good on a big board because it just like a tiny board, just kind of like you touch it wrong and it flies away. A big board, like you know where it's gonna be and it carries its own momentum. Yeah, 775's a handboard, and then this board is like just the culmination of everything. So this is like as small as I'm willing to skate a huge thing on. So you know what I mean? Like I could skate vert on this size, I could skate a big handrail,
Freestyle.
freestyle. But if freestizzle, Kevin,
I'll point out something though.
Harry.
Since I'm involved in like the business side of it too, and on a worldwide basis and dealing with Powell Peralta, when he started creating the shape, that took him forever because I want to change a millimeter here and a millimeter there. The industry thought this board would never sell, so they wanted to put that graphic on a regular popsicle shape 8-inch or 7.75 board. And we convinced everybody, all the top players in the industry, to go, let's put it out like this. Let's just see what happens. And as I'm sure most of you know, still the #1 selling board on the planet. On the planet. It's sold out everywhere. Like,
We have one left. We have one left in our shop.
oh,
We'll auction it off.
there's a question.
Yes. What's your name first? Oh, I saw you on the vert there. Nice fro. That was impressive. Yeah, awesome. And what's your question? So the question is, what comes after all the dark slides and the spins you've been doing? Satan spins, specifically.
I think, honestly, it's going to be a long time for me, but getting the board upside down is fun and all, but I think I got to learn how to get upside down. I got to learn handstands. And so I can, like, be the dark version of myself.
Very well said. Very well said. McTwist. You do a McTwist.
Yeah, so I can't do anything where I go upside down. My body
Now, you know
freaks
who would
out.
love to show you that?
Who?
So Mitchy Briscoe.
Yes, dude.
Right?
Where is this guy?
So I don't know if Mitch, where are you, Mitchy? Are you still here? Andy Anderson would like to ask you a question. If you
I'm just picturing.
we're
him
gonna
being
sign you up for IQ. He's got a training program that he's taking all over the world. He's got a couple partners involved. And like earlier, he had Faye Diageo, who's
Oh.
going to be in Paris representing Canada.
Faye,
He's
Faye,
had
Faye.
Sadie, a whole bunch of people, and just the progression they've made today with like an hour and a half is incredible. So he would be and he would love to do it.
Well, you know what I think's cool is skaters are unveiling. They're opening the curtain, like no longer like certain skaters. A lot of skaters they don't know how they're doing what they're doing. They can just land it. Hey, how do you kickflip? Oh, you pop and you flick. It's like, dude, that's like 2% of what's going on, right? But like when you actually get it, and then some skaters like Chris Cole understands. Chris Cole, he could tell you, oh, you use 70% of the muscle in the big toe, and he knows. Dylan Jabe, he knows. Mitchy Brusco knows, dude, and he's letting us in on some secrets that I don't know who was keeping them, but they were being kept, and Mitchy's like taking away that curtain.
When we were talking with him, I met him when he was 12, and he came up with a Canadian David Palisades who were at Woodward, and they came to our place for a couple days skating. And to watch him now is like incredible. It's just the same as you. Like the evolution's been incredible.
And his articulation.
Oh,
He just knows exactly what's going on and what you need to hear.
yeah.
Like,
And you watch when he's teaching, even in some of these programs, you watch the students as they're listening, because he can do it just like you, but he can do it and he can explain it technically and do it, and you watch it and you just end up doing it.
because I try to teach people, and I'm like, there's literally 40 million details I could talk about, but you need 3. And which 3 do you need, right? And like Mitchy, like, he's like, I know the 3. You need this one and that one. Oh, man.
That's funny.
Kevin.
All right, who else has a question? Yes, what's your name first? Aisha? So with all the hills and White Rock where you were skating, did
You
you
know
ever
what's
get
up.
into any of the runs and doing that type of skating?
What, into longboard? Oh, yeah, for sure, dude. I had a longboard.
The cheesecloth?
Oh, dude, I cut up all the cutting boards and glued them to gardening gloves and all that. And I had a huge hill right next to my house, and I used my sister's Sector 9 longboard that did not have slide wheels or anything. Like, it was like a weird bubble board. And I went, I'm going to bomb this hill. And at a certain point, I was going too fast, went to run, couldn't catch up with myself, and I just like got carried home with like full road rash I have slammed on some hills. I was just talking a story with Tony Hawk the other day with on his podcast, but so you're gonna hear this same story in 2 weeks. But I was bombing a hill like a block from my parents' house and totally was power sliding, and the concrete changed, and I like stuck, and it pitched me, and I just woke up like I was probably like 12 or 13, and I just woke up by myself laying in the middle of the street, and then I was like, damn, I'm in the middle of the street. So I like went like this and like rolled like roly-poly style over to the grass, and then just passed out again in the grass. I have no idea how long I was passed out for. And
Probably a week.
and then you wake up, and then you like just walk home, you're like, hey mom, I fell. Like, what happened? Oh, nothing. Yeah, just
40 miles an hour. Just
yeah, those hills are gnarly. White Rock represent.
crazy.
And the Bomb Hills shirt right here. Not countries.
You have a question? No. Yep. Okay, so we have time for one more question because Andy is after that going to be doing a demo over here in our CJ skate park area, so that'll be great. So who would like the last question? Yes, what's your name? Simon, bonjour, ça va? And what is your question? He wants to know the video Diamond song that you did a video of. Are you going to use that?
Hey, wait.
He's going to come over and talk to you.
What's the question?
Question is, do you think at one moment make a big versus Day One song?
Versus what?
Day One song.
Oh, Day One song.
Man,
Yeah, dude.
Oh, I think
He's saying I should verse Day One song like the Rodney Mullen versus Day One song.
Oh, sorry.
Dude, I should totally do that,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Well, cause
Yeah.
I'm getting tighter with Tori Pudwell, and Tori's like super tight with Day One. So I just gotta. That's just a couple phone calls away, dude. We just gotta hang out more often. Well, no, but you know the real thing that's stopping me from meeting Day One all the time is like he skates in the mornings, dude. I know where he skates. I know the park he goes to, and he shows up at like 7:30, and I don't skate till like 5 p.m. You know what I mean? Like when we're on such different schedules. I would have to either stay up like an extra 5 hours so I could skate with him in the morning, or I don't know. It's tough, dude, to sleep. But now that the video's done, I can get some more sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What you also don't know about Andy, and you heard from some of the other people earlier, is how he gives back. And when Andy was here helping people for the tryouts and where he was trying out for the Olympics at CJ's, we did an event for kids in cancer, and we didn't tell him about anything. He heard about it, and he said, yeah, I want to go there. And he was helping kids, and it was amazing. And I know you do things like that all the time. Probably stuff that, because Kevin does that, you got it from him. But, you know,
Straight
it's
up.
great to give back. And I think it's, especially you, who's like so busy,
Well,
and you find the time.
Kevin's always said it, right? Is like, why are we just giving back to the people who are already in skateboarding so deep, right? Like us and us, everybody.
We had Paul Stanley at our park a little while ago, but no one knew who he was, right? Because you're used to seeing him with his Kiss outfit, right? And two people recognized him, and one of the girls came up, and she asked me to sign her board. And I said, you want to get this gentleman to sign the board? And she goes, is he a skateboarder? I go, no. She goes, no, thank you. Her dad was there. He said, no, that's Paul Stanley. Go over, get him to sign the board. And this is one of the biggest rock stars in the world, okay? He's tall. He went down at her level to speak to her and did that consciously, which most people don't do, right?
Yeah.
And we saw a different side of him. We had an autistic kid who grew up on Kiss music, and he goes, Paul Stanley, oh, can I get a selfie with Paul Stanley? And he sat and talked to them. And I think it's great when you see these superstars that are regular people and they just give back. And when I hear those, that's you. And that was Kevin Harris.
Straight up. And Kevin, dude, the whole time he's like, Tony used to stay and sign everything. You know what I mean? Like, they really implanted the work ethic of the Bones Brigade in my brain since very early on. And I appreciate it so much,
I
Kevin.
love this. Two great Canadians, Kevin Harris, Andy Anderson, here at JACKALOPE Mississauga. Woo! So you get to go see them over here. He's going to do some demos. Kevin's not going to probably do a demo. But
Andy is. You guys, I don't want to see me.
do you want to see Kevin on the board again, don't you? Yeah, we want to see you on the board, Kevin.
The reason Kevin doesn't skate so much anymore is because we were doing this one demo, and it was like we're like a farm town, you know. We're in a barn, and we got like hay bales on the sides to like stop the boards from flying into people. And he had just injured his Achilles from playing baseball. You know, when you just like start running out of nowhere, he was skating in the demo and hit a piece of hay, and it snapped his Achilles. It was literally the last straw. I'm not even joking, though. It's such a joke, but it's a true story. He hit a piece of straw, and it broke his...
Going 1.5 miles an hour.
It was literally the straw that broke Kevin's back.
Or
Like,
Achilles in this case.
Oh, yeah, it broke his Achilles. Anyways, I wanted to say that joke, but it's not even a joke.
No, I thought it was good.
It's like a real story. So if you didn't laugh, it's still
No,
valid.
everybody laughed, and I think you're doing comic stand-up, right? We're going to see you at Yuck Yucks or something. All right.
So if you've
Ladies
just seen this guy freestyle skateboard, come over and watch this.
Come over, watch it. Give it up for Andy Anderson,
Insane.
Kevin Harris,